Hello my precious cinnamon rolls, my name is Phoephoe and I'm here back again playing Loren, the Amazon princess. Now, we're going into the swamps to get the tooth of a lizardman king to get an ingredient for a potion, so for the swamp witch, so that we can find Loren's mother. Eleanor says, Your Grace, the temple road is guarded by many lizardman patrols. Loren says, so what do you suggest? Eleanor says, I recommend after each attack we retreat to make camp. Making camp will fully restore our health. Loren says, but we cannot delay anymore. My mother is in danger. Eleanor says, I know and it's up to you, but only remember that if we attack any patrols in sequence like resting, why not make it? Fight the patrol. Still need to get Mirth up to the level 5, so shoot the scout. Ray, shoot that scout. Lorengo Blanc. Draco. Oh, they're vulnerable to fire.
Try this on for size.
Mirth, you shoot that one. That was super easy. We don't need to rest. Again. This is going to be the exact same encounter over and over because that's going to be boring. I need 103 XP to get her up to level 4. You know, Eleanor and Loren are nearly at level 6. Fight next patrol. Again, same format. But hey, what works works. Oh, Loren leveled up. I'm putting everything in strength still. Seal points. Let's upgrade our dual wielding. There we go. The party had cleared the Chuzulu temple halls of all lizardmen, but they had yet to find the lizardman's leader. The more they fought, however, the more vicious the creatures became, telling them that they were close. And then, suspiciously, the attack stopped. They were guided through the empty halls lit by lit torches and sounds. They walked down a musty corridor and into a great hall. There were torches laid across the wide room, and large decorated lizardmen working around occult symbols on the floor. Loren says, There! The king must be with them. Loren pulled out her swords and charged the monsters, already impatient to collect the teeth required for Chambaro's potion. The lizardman screeched as she plunged her weapon into the nearest one. She pulled her sword back out with a grunt and scanned the chamber for her next target. What she saw instead made her lose her mind. Karen, her mother, was tied to the wall, limp and unmoving. Loren says, Mother? She did not move. Loren screamed in pure bloodlust. Meanwhile, a giant lizardman warrior approached them. He was the Lizard King. Boss fight. Well, we're keeping that as this for now. Sorry, Dora. Wizard, Scout, Warrior, King, Warrior. Well, we want to take the wizard out first, I suspect. Draco, use fire again. Mirth, shoot that one. Ray, shoot that one. There we go. That was easy. Oh, Eleanor leveled up. Everything in skill. I haven't really been needing her any of those special abilities. Let's just upgrade the revive spell then. Oh, Mirth is near to leveling up though, that's good. The last lizardman fell, bloody and broken from how Loren had mauled him. She dropped her swords and rushed to her mother, who was still lifeless and bound to the wall. Hey, we got an achievement. Freed Karen. found and saved Karen. Loren says, "Mother, please, Mother." She lifted Karen's head and rocked her to make sure that she was alive. Her body was warm to her relief. Eleanor handed her a knife to cut the ropes. Loren says, "Please." Just before she said a tear, Loren saw her mother's eyes blink open. They struggled to focus, and then she finally looked to see who was holding her. "Loren?" Karen says. Princess cried in happiness and hugged her mother close. She managed to free Karen completely from her bonds, revealing dark marks on her wrists from how long she had been held. Karen says, "What? Why are you here?" Loren says, "I've come for you. The Amazons wanted to brand you as dead, but I knew you'd be alive." Karen says, "Dead?" Karen immediately searched the room, and then her face turned to anguish. She stood up shakily and fought her body's weakness to scramble over to a corpse nearby. "Rhizom, no!" She turned the person over to reveal an armoured man dead. Karen did not mute her horrid cries upon seeing him, pressing her head into his cold body. The entire party stood in silence, witnessing an agony of a woman who just barely escaped her own life. Loren was perplexed at seeing such a reaction from her mother. Rhizom had been her mother's personal servant, and that was all. Loren suddenly made the connection that the man who had been reporting and travelling with her mother had been only her slave. Her thoughts went wild. No one had captured her? Why had she been travelling with him? He was a man. Mother? Loren asked. Karen says, "Don't look at me." She snapped at her daughter too quickly. Still hunched over Rhizom's body, Loren took a step back in fear. Karen says, "Don't judge me." Loren gasped. Karen had loved Rhizom. It was so clear to Loren now, from the way her mother was clutching him so dearly, she had been in love with him. And all the smiles they had secretly shared back at the Citadel every time her mother had chastised her for criticising him and other men. Loren says, "He didn't abduct you, you were running away with him." Her mother could never be allowed to love a man, especially not as the queen of the Amazons. She'd be cast out, and so would Loren, simply because she was related to a treasonous weakling. Men were only for procreation, never love. She'd been taught this for as long as she could remember. All this time, Loren had believed that her mother disappeared against her will, and now it was clear that she had wanted to abandon her all along. Karen says, "I am dead, I should be dead." Eleanor could not stand Loren's sudden standoffish behaviour towards her mother, especially for something so meaningless as to what gender her lover was. So Eleanor hurried to Queen Karen's side and placed comforting hands on her shoulders. With a gentle hold, she led her away from Rhizom's corpse, so that it was so clear she wanted to stay with him. The Amazon Queen had always been a strong, stoic leader with a reign and an exterior as hard as stone, but now she was just a woman breaking down in her arms. It was enough for Eleanor to question reality itself. Ray says, "This place stinks of dark magic." Rama says, "They killed that man for their magic." "Ah, witchcraft." Draco says, "Magic should be used for good." Murph says, "I will prepare a service for this man, even though he was killed savagely, he deserved a proper ceremony." Outside, a bright pyre burned, sending Rhizom home. Karen stared into the flames, utterly silent. On the opposite side, Loren was just as silent, but staring at her mother instead. She was still having difficulty piecing together everything that she had just seen. She loved her mother deeply, but now she wondered who she even was. Was it her mother having broken Amazon tradition or requiring exile from the Citadel? Loren could not excommunicate her own blood. Not just because it would mean her own exile as well, but because her mother was not a bad person. She was a strong queen and a good mother, even if her heart beat for someone who it should not have. Eleanor quietly walked up and stood by Loren. She looked over at her servant. The very sight of Eleanor seemed to comfort her, which was a new emotion towards a servant for her. Eleanor says, "Are you well, your majesty?" Loren opened her mouth, but no words came immediately. She says, I'm well, thank you." Eleanor smiles, and Loren's stability racked once more. Slaves were supposed to be beneath her, but she was strangely humbled by this one. Loren walked away and urged the party to leave the swamps as soon as possible. Eleanor stood alone, left wondering why her mistress responded in such a way. Of course, it was to be expected as a servant, but she couldn't shake the look in her eyes just now. Pulling Karen from the pyre, the party decided to move on and leave the swamps. Loren took her first steps back towards the Citadel, towards home. We got Karen as a party member. She's a thief, so we wouldn't put a lot of stuff in skill. She also uses a spear, but we wouldn't her unique skill trees. There we go. It would be here where the story of Loren and the Amazon princess should have ended. She had never left the Citadel until the day her mother went missing, and she was now returning home with her. Her goal was complete, but their journey was far from over. That sword had not stopped glowing and did not stop whispering her while she slept. No, this was just the beginning for Loren and her loyal servant. Soon they would approach the forest again, and news would reach their ears. The whole world was quaking, ready to burst, and the sword knew this. High in the Everburn Mountains, a thundering, unearthly shout rang out over the mountains, shattering windows and putting out fires. Forza, did it glow? Tell me, in the princess's hand, did that sword glow? Jill says, I don't know, I only know that she has it. I am completely positive on that, my lord. Force says, then you'd better find out if it glows. We have come too far for the gods to meddle in my business. Jill says, sir, you know that I need more power for that. My omniscience is limited. I can't just do it whenever. Force says, what use are you then? Succubus frowned, about to growl something in her defence. Looking for her, the chamber's doors flew open and Gob came hobbling in, wheezing. Gob says, you speak of the hot bleed. It glowed, it glows. He threw all his weight onto his staff as he tried to recapture his breath. Jill crossed her arms and prepared herself for another of Lord's tantrums. The lava in the room spluttered and flared in Force's hot rage. She needs to be killed. Just as I recall someone saying that such an option was covered. How did that go, by the way, Grob? The goblin shaman sneered at Jewel. It went according to plan, actually, but they're collecting more and more allies, so she's well protected. Force says, but the lizardmen will be able to handle them, that is. Jewel says, oh no, haven't you heard? Grob says, quiet, I will tell him which. Force says, I've heard enough bad news for today, Grob. Grob says, yes, my lord, but the lizardmen have been slain. Loren has our mother, and they are leaving the swamps. Force screams shook the room, causing the tiles on the walls and things to break off and shatter on the floor. Jewel and Grob were barely unscathed. Jewel says, you can't do anything right, Greenie. Grob says, and what is it you've done for the Lord lately? Force says, silence. Force says, you were both paid dearly for these mistakes. You failed to keep promises and have compromised me for the last time. Grob says, my lord, you're being too hasty. I made you a promise that there will be a war. Grob says, I've come to tell you the war is upon us. He's quieted Force and he sat down upon his throne. Force says, how? Grob says, unlike some of us, I have great ability at your service, my lord. Grob says, the humans and elves were hitching for a war as it was. The change in the wind would have sent them to war. Grob says, nonetheless, it was my illusion, magic lord. Force was silent for a long moment while the demons before him feared for their lives. Force said, this is the only good thing I've heard from the two of you in a long time. This will not be the case again. The two demons bowed before Force's throne, glared at each other, and then left. Alone, the animated suit revelled in the thought of the world at war. His plans will finally start to come to fruition. It was a cloudless night in the Empire. The night watchmen of a small town guarded their post as usual. Only merchants and lowly travellers entered the village in such a dark hour. So it was beyond suspicious when a group of elven scouts marched right up to the town. Guard says, halt, who goes there? The elven scouts marched through the gates and straight into the main square. The city guards rushed to block the roads. The elves suddenly stopped. Guard says, what's your business here? Go back, we don't need. The guard's commanding tone faded. The elves took out their bows in unison and loaded them. Guard says, we're under attack. The arrows flew in all directions and the bloody screams woke the whole town. The elves mercilessly attacked the guards, showing almost no emotion as one person after another was slain. The guards barely had a chance to defend themselves or their loved ones. An arrow pierced an invading elf's skull, sending him to the ground. There, the elf's visage slowly melted away and showed the corpse of a goblin instead. The skull was crushed under the foot of a defending guard. Just outside the forest, Grob wheezed painfully and grasped his staff closely for support. This should be the last of it. The wave of his staff, the few goblins remained in front of him turned into human guards. They looked at their new forms for a moment, then scuttled into a battalion of human soldiers that was forming next to them. Grob says, go now, hurry. The illusionary soldiers then marched forward and right into the forest. Grob looked up to them at the moon and then coughed. Finally he teleported back to the Everburn Mountains to give his report. His master was waiting for good news. That was the end of chapter 1. So chapter 2 is the World at War. We've found Queen Karen, and we all get to level up. Strength, skill, will. Skill point. I want to learn all his magic, so we have different elementals attacks. Dora leveled up to level 6. Skill, snipe. Ramus leveled up strength. Crushing blow. Mirth. Will again. Insect swarm. Ray. Skill again. Fatality. Yeah. Karen. No. Skill. And whatever that. What's that? Death blow. Yeah. We done that. Loren and Eleanor led the party out of the swamps and towards the nearest town. They needed clean beds and hot baths and couldn't be more eager to have either. Before they had trekked far, a bright light flashed in front of them and a person appeared. Chambara says, where are you guys going? Eleanor says, the shapeshifter, why have you followed us? Loren said, sorry, did not inform you, but I have my mother and no need of your services. Chambara says, I already know that. Eleanor says, you knew we had found Queen Karen? Chambara says, yes, okay, so I knew there was a woman and a man taken hostage by Elizabeth, and I just assumed that was who you were looking for. I'm glad at least one of them is alive. Karen stepped forward, but Eleanor held her back. Chambara says, was I supposed to go rescue you? I didn't know you, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything by myself. You don't survive in the swamps by sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. Loren says, why didn't you just say that when you knew my mother was there? You set us on a hunt for ingredients. Chambara says, this conversation's about as lame as I was telling you outright I was trying to help. Ich, just saying the words make me shudder. I hope you're happy. Karen says, your methods are unorthodox, but you did lead my daughter to me. Thank you. Karen turned away to look at the sky with an empty expression. Eleanor couldn't stand to see her queen so desolate, and thanking a person who barely helped them. Eleanor says, you're deceptive. Merv says, we trusted you and now you're telling us you lied. Chambara says, are we down to name-calling? Really? I don't just teleport for anyone, so shut up about whatever happened and listen to what I have to say. Chambara crossed her arms, but Loren gave her a warning look. You're about to walk past an elven forest and get killed. Does that sound fun at all? Merv said, you are mistaken. The elves will not attack us, especially not the elder druid. Chambara says, maybe not you, but all of your friends. She only received blank stares in return. Chambara says, none of you know, do you? Loren says, out with it. Chambara says, the Empire and the elves are at war. War? The entire party froze from hearing it. For so long the two factions had been teetering on the edge of it, but both sides had worked hard to keep from shedding any blood. Eleanor first looked to her mistress. Loren paled, but she had been upset since the Chuzulu temple, and she worried how much trauma one Amazon could take. Chambara says, bring the elves onto Empire soil and vice versa will only get you shot down dead. Ray says, the forest! Mirth, are you alright? Mirth says, I feel nothing. What happened to cause a war? Chambara says, groups of elves invaded human towns and a regiment of soldiers attacked a forest city. Mirth says, the elves would not wage war like that. If elves did attack a town, then they had a just reason that couldn't be ignored. The town perhaps had plans to invade the forest, and Chambara says, no, it was completely random, or worse, the attacks completely disappeared afterwards. Loren says, that doesn't make sense. No casualties or prisoners. Chambara says something's wrong with this war. And I'm warning you before you go home and cry about it. Not everything is as it seems. Eleanor says, do you know anything more? Are you hiding your knowledge again to keep from directly helping us? Chambara sighed heavily. You're welcome. Have fun with your little war. The swamp should be much more peaceful now that you're occupied. Loren says, hold on, you should help us. Your magic should be useful. Merv says, I will not tolerate her magic among us. The shapeshifter ignored the insult and started to turn away. Chambara says, I don't care which hunts would happen while this is going on, so I don't mind it. Bye. I like her, she's funny. She flashed away suddenly, leaving only smoke in her place. They stood silently in the field for a moment. Merv says, I had no idea I would have let us walk right into danger. The elves, they must be so afraid right now. Afraid? Ray says, afraid is not the word I would have used. It says, I would need to return to the elders. They must be worried about me in the forest. I need to go back. Loren nodded towards the druid, giving her permission to leave. Merv says, won't you join me? Or would you rather press on to the citadel? Loren says, that is the safest place for us all. Draco says, you're going to let us all come back with you? Even me? Loren was quiet for a moment, unable to look Draco in the eye as usual. Loren says, I will not put any of you in danger, and that means not allying with myself with any side in this war. Loren says, Karen says the Amazons will remain neutral as always. Merv says, I understand. I will find you again at your home then. Please wait for me there. Merv says, Ray, let's hurry back to the forest. Ray nodded and saluted the group before following after the elder druid. Eleanor looked over her shoulder several times, watching the two leave. Loren changed course for the citadel. As tired as it was, she needed to get her mother home and quick. Along the way, they unfortunately met with a war, even as they tried to avoid it. Swarms of elven scouts and Empire soldiers must battle, and were so enraged that Loren and the party were mistakenly caught up in the chaos. Eleanor fought hard to keep her mistress safe while keeping her own hide intact. You need to fight 3 times to get back to the citadel. The country of the Empire or the Elven borders. The type of enemy you'll encounter will be decided by this choice. In sequence, you won't be able to heal in battle. You may camp to fully recover, but every time you camp, the next encounter's enemies will be more powerful, so be careful. Show for human lands, since we're allied with the elves, really. Now, we've only got 6 members, so that makes it easy. Fire Mage. Dora, shoot that Fire Mage. Karen. Oh, Karen doesn't have a bow, does she? Strike through. Oh, they're vulnerable to ice. We're starting to get decent abilities for the characters now, so that makes the battle a bit more interesting. There we go. And I'm going to end this episode here. Hi, this is Phoephoe. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and if you really liked it, please subscribe.